Hi there, my name is Deva Nirguna. I'm lucky enough to be talking to you from my studio here at Lake Atitlan in Guatemala, which is a wonderful portal of energy. And I am an architect and an artist, but also I'm an astrologer with very strong Arcturian links. And today I want to talk about the astrology of 2022. I want to emphasize in this reading a more alchemical approach to astrology, and by that I mean the embodiment of astrology. The seven visible planets, the Sun and the Moon, Mars, Mercury, and Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn, they can be represented alchemically in the body, in the seven chakras. And so by working with the visible planets, we can go through transformation of our energy here in the body here on Earth. And outside of the alchemical planets, we have transformational planets of Pluto and Neptune and Uranus, the outer planets. And these set up the great tones that we're going through, the great notes of change that we're going through right now. And for the last few years, Pluto has been in Capricorn, an earth sign. Neptune has been in Pisces, a water sign. And Uranus has been in Taurus, an earth sign. And they continue in these signs for all of 2022. But now they've advanced deep into these signs, and so there's a certain maturity about the energy of these three outer planets that set up, as I say, these great tones for the year. Pluto in Capricorn has been challenging in its plutonic, deep, transformatory way, in a kind of an atomic way. Our institutions, our constitutions, the things, the libraries of knowledge that we have, the way we build and give form to countries and cultures. And so this year is particularly strong for the US as Pluto is returning after 250 years to the place where it was, where the States was born. And its effect is deep and very powerful. Neptune has been in Pisces, which it's given a home of since we've discovered it. And the Neptunian energy of being deep in the collective ocean of understanding, the unity consciousness of things. You may experience that sense of whole presence through shamanic work, through ceremonial work, through trance work, through medicine work, sacred medicine work. This sense of being beyond your own structures. Saturn is structures, the last of the visible planets, and dissolving into the ocean of consciousness. This is Neptune in a very, very deep energy of Pisces, a water energy. And Uranus, our exceptionalness, our individuality, why we are here. This has been in the sign of Taurus, of giving form and expression and newness and flowering to our individuality. These signs of water and earth will change in a few years. So we have to take advantage of this complementary energy of earth and water. Earth without water is the desert, and water without earth has no form. But if we put these energies together, then we can create gardens of understanding and grow and seed so many things. And this is one of the main themes, I think, of 2022. As we emerge from a kind of chrysalis state that has happened during COVID that got activated when Saturn met Pluto 2 years ago. We're now starting to see an emergence of different energies. And one meme for this year would be, oh, I don't see, I just see more tension and upset and power struggles. And that is all true. But another way to look at it is I can see flowers. And how can I see flowers? Well, I can see flowers because I'm planting flowers. I'm seeding things. So this is very much a year of looking to your possibilities, your individuality, Uranus, and seeding and planting things that can grow and into the future world that we want to be a part of and birth. So those tones stay the same all year, but each of the personal planets can make aspects to these outer transpersonal planets. And we have a meeting of very personal planets of Mars and Venus and Mercury doing a dance with Pluto at the start of the year. We also have a dance of Jupiter with Neptune and an ongoing conversation between Saturn and Uranus. So the way that the personal planets interact with these transpersonal planets give the kind of musical tone for the year. The start of the year also has the Sun moving from Capricorn through Pisces, with Aquarius, of course, in the middle, onto Aries and Taurus. So the Sun is moving over these outer planets for the first part of the year. And there's a very different dynamic to it, the early part of the year compared to the second half of the year. So let's take a look at this earlier part of the year. Pluto has been in Capricorn, which is the sign where we manifest from our greater awareness, as I said before, our libraries of knowledge, our understanding, our constitutions, our institutions. And it's been there since 2008, and it's going to move into Aquarius in a couple of years. But the activation of the COVID situation happened later in Capricorn 2 years ago when Saturn met there. And we're getting a very strong replay and emergence of energy around that part of the chart. So what's happening is that Venus is conjuncting Pluto there, and it's doing it in a way that's quite strong. And Venus represents a connection to Earth and to nature. Venus and the Earth make a wonderful harmonic pattern as they move around the Sun. The pattern of I can show this here, of the petals that you would get in a rose, the petals that you see in nature, the golden mean proportions. These are the connections between Venus and the Earth. So how you can deeply connect to the animus mundi, the power of the Earth, the natural energy of the Earth is my sense of where Venus is. And Pluto, in its deep transformatory energy, is asking us to make, profound changes. Pluto forces energy of rebirth, and in that process there's a death. So we're seeing so many old stories and institutions and dying and attitudes dying, actually, under this Plutonic energy. but the emergence of a new way or an old way, actually, of connecting to the soul of the earth, to the nature, is where we have to reorganize ourselves. And so Venus has now come to the same point where the COVID started, which gave everybody a structural timeout. That was Saturn. And it's saying, look, let's look deep into this. You have to emerge now with your connection to nature. Pluto, you can say, at one sense, is represented in the East by Kali, by Shiva, by the kundalini energy. So in the body, you're being asked to revive or to renew or to rediscover all these rewords or your kundalini practice, the deep serpent energy that is coiled there down in your base chakra. And when that starts to uncoil and move upwards, by the time it gets to the heart, then it's making a play alchemically with Venus. This sense of you connecting to the biggest soul of the planets. So this play of Venus with Pluto is going on from already November last year all the way through to March. And at the same time, Mercury, which is to do with the fifth chakra, the sense of you being able to find your voice and express, it is retrograding over this same point. And a little later, in the end of January, they all turn direct, and Mars comes into the picture, into Capricorn as well. So we have these very personal planets of Venus and Mercury and Mars. In one sense, it's like an alchemical marriage is going on. We have the power of Mars and Venus, which is the doing energy and the receiving energy. You can see that in a kind of a marriage sense. And Mercury, the meeting of male and female in an androgynous sense. And this birthing possibilities in Pluto through Kundalini is actually a way that we can birth our goldenness, our golden child in the alchemical process. This is what we're going through. We're transforming ourselves from the lead of Saturn into the gold of much higher frequencies. And today on the new moon, we're going to do some alchemical work with that through channeling. Alfidia at elementalbeings.co.uk runs many channeling sessions, and today we're going to do a golden light activation, Arcturian golden light activation. And more will follow during the first part of the year. So this is a very powerful time to look into what is stopping me from accessing these deeper natural energies. The alchemical process deals with the chakras. And the chakras are represented in many ways, but they're also represented as petals. And the base chakra is a four-petaled, four-directional place, and the top chakra is 1,000 petals lotus. And this emergence of the Kundalini through your body is really, really powerful at this time, especially for light workers and healers. We can access these higher frequencies, but we have to embody them. And this is all happening around that place where the COVID started. So powerful the first 2-3 months of the year as the sun comes through Capricorn, and Mars and Venus and Mercury do this dance now of us being able to move very deeply into our body, into our Kundalini practice, and find our true nature, our true connection to the earth. We're not separate, we are part of. And once you start to move with that natural flowering energy, then so many things will fall into place. And those deep roots of Pluto will allow you the expansion and the growth and the wings to touch all the higher dimensions, all the way through maybe to the golden energy of the 10th dimension. So this is a super powerful opportunity. You know, this idea of planting seeds in this time so that I can flower is really, really, really a true vehicle and a true use of your active imagination, in a sense. This energy of Pluto and Mars and Venus and Mercury in Capricorn is in the Earth sign of Capricorn. And we have some help here coming from Neptune. Neptune is the next planet discovered in the 1860s. And Neptune again is beyond our visibility. It's beyond Saturn, the way we give physical form to things. It's not represented there in the alchemical chakra system. The chakra system runs like this. Saturn is ruling the base chakra. Jupiter is ruling the second chakra of sexuality. And Mars is ruling the solar plexus. What am I doing? How am I separating my actions? Venus is ruling the heart. Mercury takes care of the throat and these great jewels of communication we can start to condense and ferment there. And we distill in our third eye through the moon. And we become golden through the crown, through the sun. But the outer planets, as I say, set up these almost like galactic ambassadorial roles. And when we discovered them, they become a part of our consciousness. They're not anymore the unconscious. And Neptune was discovered actually in the 1860s, and that brought in this great ocean of connectivity that we have. The phrase for Neptune could be where I dissolve. And when you take psychedelic work or trance work or shamanic work or channeling work, there's this dissolution, this dissolving into a bigger sense of being. And now we can access this in Neptune. And Neptune in Pisces is in a sign that it's given a rulership for, and it's very deep and very oceanic, and in one sense quite kind of vague in the way that the ocean is. But it's in a water sign, and that water starts to combine. If you put the water with the plutonic earth, you know, then you start to get, as you would in the desert, an oasis of understanding. And these two guys of Neptune and Pluto came together in the 1890s. They don't do this very often. After 400 or 500 years they do this. And they first did it in the 1390s. Sorry, the conjunction before was the 1390s of the Great Renaissance. And the 1890s conjunction, we're in a new Renaissance of quanta, of interpolation, in one sense, transcending space and time. So we have a nice meeting here between Pluto and Neptune. An ongoing sextile is happening. But now, in 2022, Jupiter moves, having done a couple of years of hard work in Capricorn and Aquarius, of helping Saturn out there. It's moved into Pisces. It's already in Pisces now, since the 29th of December. And so Jupiter's wisdom and expansion and possibilities is now bringing this energy of Neptune in a very personal way. So if you can use your active imagination, not so much fantasy, but how can I go with guided meditation, with visualizations? You know, how can I imagine in an active way higher levels of being. This is going to bring water to this plutonic earthy dance with Venus, Mercury, and Mars. This is very nourishing, and I think the first actual conjunction of Jupiter, it moves fast through Pisces, is in February or so. So we have very powerful meetings of personal planets happening with transpersonal galactic ambassadors of Pluto and Neptune. So there's an increasingly strong dance. And when the sun moves into Pisces, you know, this will really, really activate this energy. So the first part of the year is deep composting in Pluto and seeding, but immediately we start to see very fast growth and rewards for this. It's important that you do personal practice at this time. And you start to move into your breath work and into your kundalini practice, into dance, into enjoying being in the body. And if you're not, all the issues that stop you enjoying and being this flowering possibility in the body, finding the ambrosias, for instance, in each of the chakras, this Pluto will bring up this energy and force you to go through the shadow work. So please be brave and encounter this kind of sense of belonging in your body, and not be afraid of that. Face the fears, face the traumas, face the situations where you've been traumatized maybe. And relax into your naturalness. This is the message here of Jupiter bringing in this very powerful energy, but you need to root that energy also with the Mars and the Venus and the Mercury and Pluto. So powerful first 2-3 months of the year. We also have Uranus with Saturn. And Uranus is the third of the transpersonal planets, the nearest one to us. It is actually visible if you know where to look, but very faint. And Uranus takes 84 years to go around the signs of the zodiac. So it's a measure of a very long life. And Uranus is our uniqueness and why we are here. And Uranus has been squaring. Uranus is in Taurus. It's been there for some years. Let's plant and discover our uniqueness. And it's been squaring Saturn, a tension with Saturn, which is to do with our normal ways of operating in the world. Saturn is visible. How can I bring in this higher level of frequency and still get up in the morning, maybe take the kids to school, go for a walk, and do all the normal things, make a living? So there's a big tension being going on between Uranus and Saturn. How to incorporate these higher levels into a certain normality and structure of life. And this continues all year also through 2022. And I think this is the source of much of the tension in people's lives. But what has happened, and I think what is the change, is that we're somehow maturing now after 2 or 3 years of this tension between Uranus and Saturn. And we're learning how to rebuild some of the structures that we really want. This is very important that you start to schedule Saturn daily practice, that you schedule community interaction, that you schedule places to discover your individuality. You know, if you've been working 9 to 5 and have no time for what is your essentialness, it's time to give that priority in one sense, Uranus is starting to actually exert its energy. It's more dominating now over the structure. So there's some very hopeful signs there with Uranus. And again, it's in an earth sign. So your active imagination of Jupiter and Neptune, that can bring into play here and nourishment and watering and fertility. So go sing that song, go dance that dance. This is what Uranus is about. It's the earth nature wants you to sing your song, to dance your dance. So the three outer planets will change signs in a couple of years. They're all going to change from earth and water into fire and air by 2025. So this is a very maturing time for us to really work with the composting nature of Pluto, to give all these deep nutrients, a vivid, vision through Neptune and Jupiter, so that we can start to really find a way to merge our individuality into our communities and things. This is the overall tone for the first part of the year. The second half of the year becomes very activating. This happens because Jupiter moves on into Aries and Mars moves through these energies of Pisces and onwards. And I think I'll come to that, in the second, nearer to the summer solstice. But this first half of the year is profoundly full of possibilities for you to go into a shamanic, into a ceremonial place and start to really bring into being, bring into life through, I would say, kundalini practice primarily, but also active visualization, the new earth and the new world. So let's take a pause at this point on the year. So for each of us, according to our personal chart, different areas of the chart are going to be activated by these forces that I've been talking about. Do you have Capricorn in your area of relationship or money? Where is that happening? So if you want me to look at how this energy of 2022 is more personalized, then you can see me for a reading. You'll see behind here a painting that I did of the shamanic view that we have here at the lake, and this kind of kundalini energy. And I would love to help you co-create your mandala, your painting, your understanding of your birth chart. We're living in tremendously powerful times. And there's a privilege about that, and there's a kind of a terror about it as well. And so by understanding your birth chart, you're actually starting to understand the true language of the soul of the planet, the soul of the cosmos, the soul of the solar system. So get in touch with me and do Alphidia's channeling at elementalbeings.co.uk. And if you want a good Kundalini teacher, then I have a very good sources. Kundalini Temple with Kwali is a very, very good source for you to get involved in Kundalini practice. So it's going to be an emergent year. You need to be active. A butterfly comes out of the chrysalis by activating its wings. The caterpillar is gone. The chrysalis is still there. We're still in the goop. As Gwyneth Paltrow has just put a series on Netflix, Love, Sex, and Goop. We have to work with this sexuality and this love energy and that kundalini energy and emerge out into the true beings that we are. So enough for now, and I'll come back at the summer solstice. Namaste.